As you can see, the risk is higher because the impact it can have is that much higher. There is no automatic human breakwater in there. It can go off and do something quite bad.
One that I am getting a bit concerned about, especially having read your book, is AI agents. And maybe you could explain to the listeners and viewers why this might be an issue.
Yes.
Or may not be an issue.
Well, let's actually go back even one step further. AI kind of begins with what I call traditional AI. Traditional AI is machine learning, data science, it was called for a period of time. And this is the use of large amounts of data and machine learning models to essentially predict patterns out of the data. But it's an analysis that uses different approaches, but it's a little bit like a regression analysis, but far more sophisticated in terms of the way that it will spot the patterns within, data. Then we had the introduction of generative AI. Generative AI is totally different because generative AI actually creates new content. So it still looks at historical data, and that's how it figures out what to do. But what it does is it actually creates brand new text or brand new images inferred from what it's seen in the past. But that element of creativity in making something new means, and the fact that it is probabilistic, so it is working out what is the most probable set of text to output based on the instructions that I've been given and the historical data that I've seen, or the most probable image that would answer this request based on all the images that I've seen in the past. Generative AI, because of that, is much harder to control because it's creating something new and because it's probabilistic and it's not like computer code, where you can determine exactly which bit of code led to which piece of output. You can't do that with generative AI, and therefore trying to ascertain why it said something or it produced this element of a graphic or something, you can't trace it back to a particular line of code. Makes it much harder to understand, much harder to control. With agents, you go one step further because generative AI will only make recommendations to you. So it will put up on your screen some text or a picture or whatever, but that's where it stops. And it's up to you what you do with it, basically. So you've got that immediate human breakwater.
Human in the loop, as you say, is that
Human
right?
in the loop by default, because it can't do anything else. The thing about an agent is that an agent actually has the capability to execute things. So it looks at historical data, it infers a pattern, it reaches a conclusion in much the same way as traditional and generative AI. But then it can then use tools as well. So it can go out and use third-party tools to do things, but then it can actually go and execute if you give it permission. So imagine that you ask ChatGPT to come up with a recipe for, you've got a dinner party coming up on Saturday, and you say, I've got, one person who only eats fish. What's a nice recipe? You give some parameters, etc. Give me a nice recipe for 6 people and a list of the ingredients. Great. And then you go off to the supermarket and you buy the ingredients. With agents, you could say, go and place my order with my online supermarket and have it delivered. And by the way, I'm not going to be at my normal place. I'm going to my friend's house, so have it delivered over there. And the agent will be able to go through all those steps and actually, make those commitments on your behalf. Now, the degree of autonomy that you give to it is up to you, but in principle, you could give it full autonomy, give it your credit card, and it will go off and it will just do everything. So as you can see, the risk is higher because the impact it can have is that much higher. There is no automatic human breakwater in there. It can go off and do something quite bad.
Thank you for watching this episode of Arkaro Insights. If you'd like more tools and techniques for thriving in an adaptive world, hit the subscribe button now. Even better, share this with colleagues and friends who face similar challenges. They'll thank you for it.